Welcome back. It's Easy English with Colleen. This video is made for children. I'm going to do it at the beginner level and then a little bit maybe at um, intermediate level. But you can also play it at advanced level. And the game is true or false. Now, you may think, you've already done true or false. Colleen, why are you doing it again? Well, this time it's a little bit different. So what we're going to do is something that I use with some of my French students, and they really like it. So you make a statement, and then people have to guess, is it false or is it true? So if you know each other quite well, it's a bit easier if you're talking about yourself. But then if you're just talking about some random fact, um, then it depends on your knowledge base. So what I have found is that kids who are maybe 11, 12-ish, 10, 11, 12, sometimes they have a hard time um, coming up with a statement, especially false statements for some reason. As they get older, like 13, 14, 15, they're actually quite clever at making statements, and it's really very fun. So what I do is for the younger kids, I will just say something about them, and then everyone else has to guess if it's true or false, and then they tell us if it's true or false. So for instance, I would say to a student, Asia. Asia has a cat and a rabbit as pets. And then the other students would guess. So I'd say, Thomas, is that true or false? And Thomas would think, and he'd think, no, I think it's false. I don't think she has a rabbit. And then I would say, I think it's true. I think it's true. Asia, is it true or false? And then she will say, oh, it's true. I have a cat and a rabbit named Chanel. So that's the kind of way I would do it. I could also say to Tama, oh, Tama, uh, I'm going to say that you really like pizza. And then I'd say, Asia, do you think that's true or false? And she'd say, oh, I think it's true. And I'd say, I think it's true too. So, Tama, tell us, do you like pizza? And then he would say, yes, I do. It's true. So then you could make um, false statement, like Tama could say, I have 5 cats. And then we would say, oh, I think that's false. And Asia, she'd say the same. And then Tama would say, yes, it's false. I don't have so many cats. So that's how it would go with younger students who have difficulty like coming up with a statement. But as students get into their teens, they understand the game very well and they play it very well. So I'll give you some examples of what some of my students have said. So I had one teenager and he said, oh, I am 18 years old. I thought, is he that old? And he kind of looks old. But I asked the other students in class, and they said, no, I don't think so. So I said, okay, I'm going to say it's false as well. And the kid said, yes, it's false. I'm only 14. So he made a false statement quite easily. And then I gave them examples myself. I said, okay, is it true or is it false? Listen to the statement. I have 2 passports. Is it true or is it false? Guess yourself. What do you think? Is it true or is it false? I'll give you a hint. I am from Canada, but I live in France. So think about that as well. That's a hint. So the students, when I said this, they all said, no, that's impossible. You can't have 2 passports. It's definitely false. Uh, but then I explained that I'm Canadian, so I have a Canadian passport, but my husband was Irish. So I was able to get an Irish passport and Irish citizenship as well. So as a EU citizen, that's how I'm able to live in France. So uh, so you can make statements that are about yourself, or you can just make statements about the world. So to prepare for this game, it's good, to look up like kind of weird facts, and then you can make the statement. And they're so strange that people would say, oh no, that's definitely false. But in fact, it's true. So I'll give you one example. I didn't actually do the research before. I should have. I meant to, but I didn't. So I'm going to think of something I can tell you. Um, there, there is a kind of uh, fungus that grows into the body of an ant and infects its brain. And it turns the ant into a zombie ant. And then the ant, in his zombie state, he climbs and climbs and climbs on some little plant, and then he just sticks there. And then the fungus eventually just bursts out of the ant and falls to the ground to do whatever a fungus does to keep living. I'm not up on my fungi. Yeah, so I'm going to make that statement. There is a kind of fungus that can turn an ant into a zombie ant. True or false? What do you think? Might have got some of the details maybe not quite right, but it actually is true. And I've seen videos of it, and it's very frightening. So there's how you play the game. I hope you'll have fun with that game.